All right, I have a question for you ladies this morning. What do you do if your coworker on the job harasses you? Tough question, right? I'm not sure if it's happened to any of you. And here's another question. What do you do if your male coworker is making more money than you and he's doing the same job? Doesn't sound right, correct? So there's a lot of things that we need to do for ourselves. We need to stand up for our rights. And you know, at the end of the day, and I think y'all will agree with me, that we all deserve to have equal pay, fairness, and treatment. Agreed? Agreed. And that's why this morning I've got a very special guest with me. His name is Travis Hollifield, and he is with the Hollifield Legal Centre. Good morning.
Hi, Christy. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I know your law firm focuses on women's workplace legal needs, correct?
That's correct.
So tell me, what issues seem to be right there on the top that women are dealing with today?
Well, the types of claims that we see mostly in my office are sexual harassment claims,
Very common.
pregnancy discrimination, Family and Medical Leave Act claims, or FMLA, and then there's a type of claim that we call wage theft, which is like an umbrella term that's meant to cover things like unpaid overtime, unpaid commissions, and other types of wage improprieties.
So let's say a woman has gone through this, or they feel they've been wronged. What? I mean, I would think I would stand up for myself. I mean, that would, ladies, you too? Yes? So why do you think they don't?
Well, many women have, there's a variety of different reasons why women would not necessarily want to report the incident to their employer. One reason is typically that women tell me is that they fear that they're going to be seen as not a team player.
Okay.
Or that they're going to rock the boat too much by...
I don't want any problems.
Right. Just trying to avoid conflict in the workplace. But the number one reason by far that women report to me in my firm is that they fear retaliation or blackballing. You know, retaliation being something bad's going to happen to me or my job if I say something, or I'm going to be blackballed, meaning that if I ever leave here and want to stay in the same industry or the same geographic area,
it's going to follow me along.
That's right. People are going to talk badly about me for having blown the whistle or having complained or objected to behavior in the workplace.
But I still don't think that's a reason that we don't stand up for ourselves and do something about it. Agreed, ladies? Agreed. I think someone always should, but it's a good reason why they don't. So let's say a woman gets legal representation. They decide, okay, I'm going to do something about this. I'm not going to be fearful, and I'm going to stand up for myself. What steps should they take to prepare for that? Because, I mean, there you start thinking, here comes the hurricane.
Sure. Well, the number one thing that all women need to be aware of is that if their employer has an employee handbook, you need to have that handbook nearby so that you can see what the policies and procedures are for reporting objectionable behavior in the workplace, whether it's harassment, discrimination, or retaliation. The handbook itself, typically, if it's a good handbook and if it's well distributed and all employees have a copy, there should be a very clear policy about how to complain, typically to a human resources department or a similar department or manager that will field these questions. And it's very important that women follow that procedure, because in many circumstances, a woman can lose her rights later in court if they do not follow the internal reporting procedure that's set forth by the employer.
Now, let me ask you something else, because I actually know of one case, one friend of mine who went through this. And I remember her comment to me was, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to suffer so much. I'm going to put my family through so much, and nothing's going to be done. What's your answer to that?
Well, the answer is that that's not necessarily true. I mean, unless you stand up for yourself, who's going to stand up for you in the workplace? I mean, as an attorney, I can do what I can do outside of the workplace if a client comes to me and needs assistance about how best to stand up for herself to the company. But if something bad happens after that, we get into a situation where typically it's litigation. We're in court, and that's where my expertise comes into play. I can forward the client's claim in court, but for the woman, if she doesn't take that step, she's just walking away from whatever remedy is ordinarily available to her.
Great information. What y'all think? I hope nobody ever has to go through this, but you know what? If you do, really stand up for yourself, and thank you so much for the information, Travis.
Thanks, Christy.
I really appreciate it. And if you want more information on Hollifield Legal Centre, go to trhlaw.com.